Alright, we have something very exciting today. It's actually exciting for a number of reasons. I want to go over them kind of quickly so we can actually get to this review. Black Dog Bob off of MREinfo.com recently launched his own MRE company, and he sells rations under the name Black Dog Surplus. This is actually the second Black Dog Surplus ration that I've reviewed, and it's actually a great example of something that I was saying during the first video. I had mentioned that they're called Adventure Ration-Packs as opposed to being called MREs. And apparently there are actually a couple of reasons for that. One thing I wasn't aware of when I made the first video was that apparently the name MRE is actually copyrighted or trademarked. So while it's perfectly legal to produce commercial MREs, you can't call them MREs, at least not in the name. And the second reason is that some of the Adventure Ration Packs have ready-to-eat entrees, and some of them have freeze-dried entrees, like the one that I did previously. So to give it an overall name and be able to use the same bag for everything, they just call it an Adventure Ration Pack. So I'm very excited that Black Dog sent me a second one of these to review. Here's some information for you. blackdogsurplus.net. You can also check out custommre.com. It also has the email and the phone for the company. There is no date code stamped on here like there is on the Genuine US MREs, but the little sticker here, which we'll get to in a second, has the date of production on it. And so, as I kind of mentioned, it's a generic bag. The bags will look the same. They have 8-hour rations and they have 24-hour rations. And they have freeze-dried entrees and they have ready-to-eat entrees. And this one has a ready-to-eat entree. And now we get to the most exciting part of this. What is the entree? The entree is pepperoni pizza. MRE Pizza has been in the works for probably close to 20 years. And it's been promised for a few years, but there's always been some problem with putting it in production. It seems like the simplest thing, something that people have been asking for forever, and now that it's finally a reality, you're starting to see reviews pop up on YouTube. We've seen Steve1989 try them out from a Norwegian ration. Old Smokey also checked out a Norwegian one. Gundog has checked out Black Dog Bob's pizzas, and there are quite a few others. So right now it's a novelty, it's something new, something we've been waiting for, and at some point it's going to become just another regular thing. But Black Dog Surplus actually beat out the government in putting these into their MREs. I'm filming this in March 2018, and that is supposedly the date that the genuine MREs are supposed to get pizzas. But as far as I know right now, they're still kind of testing them out, and I'm not really sure exactly when you're going to start seeing those showing up in MRE cases. But it is still a very new thing, pretty exciting. I'm very excited to try it for the first time. And as I mentioned, it's a generic bag, these Black Dog Surplus ones. And what they do is they put a sticker on that gives you a lot of information. It gives you the menu number, it gives you the entree, and it gives you the date of production. So if we check this out, we can see it's menu A1, pepperoni pizza. And it has a date of production of February 2018. And I'm filming this in early March of 2018. So that's about as fresh as you can get. And I do actually have a lot more to say about the MRE Pizza, but this is a review of this ration pack, so let's go ahead and check it out. There's the peelable seal. Okay, first off we have a standard MRE hot beverage bag. It's a nice touch. We have a flameless ration heater. And this is the heater that the Black Dog Surplus rations come with. The earlier meal that I had did not have a flameless ration heater because it was a freeze-dried entree and it needed hot water to reconstitute it. So this one does have the flameless ration heater. It'll be my first time trying a Black Dog Surplus MRE heater. Oh wow. Okay, this is pretty cool. I know I said I wasn't going to talk a lot about this, but I have to mention that when Gundog4314 did his review, he brought up an excellent point. We've been waiting for MRE Pizza for a long time, and it's a pretty exciting thing, but to be honest, it's a small entree. You can see here it's 3.1 ounces. And there are a few MRE menus that do have a similar sized entree, including the maple sausage patty and the pork rib, but those do tend to have a good sized side along with it to make sure you're getting a good amount of food. The Pizza Adventure Ration Pack that I saw Gundog do, it came with one slice of pizza, and it also had a shelf-stable pepperoni sandwich. We'll get to these. I'm going to save these for last, just because they're what they are. But let's see what we have. We have nut raisin mix, oatmeal cookies. Seems like a lot of the Black Dog Surplus ones come with oatmeal cookies. Chunky peanut butter, and actually, let's see what we have. We have plain tortillas. And as I mentioned in the earlier video, apparently at some point the Black Dog Surplus rations should have branded items, but right now they have, these are both standard MRE issue packaging. And then they have some MRE style components, and they also have some commercial components, like this Parmesan cheese for adding a little bit of flavor to your pizza. And we also have Another flavoring, we have the pizza packet, Italian spice, and we have the MRE Star lemonade flavored drink mix. And I believe this is MRE Star accessory pack. Check that out too. We have the black spoon. It's a little bit on the more on the lightweight side than an MRE spoon, but it does the job fine. You have salt and pepper, additional seasonings, deep rich coffee, sugar, and creamer. Moist towelette, some hot sauce. In lieu of gum, we have Smarties, candies, and a MRE Star napkin. No, we haven't talked about everything yet, have we? Looks like Black Dog Bob has taken what Gundog mentioned and put it to good use. And so this one actually comes with 2 slices of MRE pizza. That's pretty cool. So now you're having 6.2 ounces of pizza. It's getting pretty close to a full-size MRE entree. And we're going to take a look at this. This is from Bridgeford. They apparently are going to be the supplier of the genuine MRE ones, and Bridgeford does supply a lot of components for strike rations. We see a lot of sandwiches like the barbecue chicken sandwich and some of the wraps, things like that, and they also have other shelf-stable bread products, including some like turnovers, some dessert kind of things, the filled French toast. So Bridgeford is going to be the manufacturer of the MRE pizza, and now we actually have it. Here's the ingredients. A lot of ingredients in there, a lot of R&D, a lot of research, a lot of work has gone into making this, and apparently a lot of ingredients too. And here are the nutrition facts. Of course, this is for 1 slice of pizza. We get 2 of them. And one of the most exciting things, I had mentioned that the date of production of this meal is February of 2018. That means when this was packed. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's the date when these components were packed. For instance, this tortillas were packed on the 318th day of 2017. Very fresh, but still a couple months old. So you're going to get a range of dates. But of course, the thing you're most concerned about is your entree. And check this out. The date on these is 8033, meaning the 33rd day, or February 2nd, I believe, of 2018. And as I said, I'm filming this in March of 2018. So that's very cool. All right, and here's everything that we're getting in this Black Dog Surplus Adventure Ration-Pack. Menu A1 pepperoni pizza. If you had any concerns about the calorie count, possibly being lower than a genuine US MRE, I just went through everything and added up all the calories, and it's a grand total of 1,730 calories. So you're definitely getting your money's worth as far as calories go. And there's a lot of calorie-dense components in here. You generally think of the entree as supplying the most calories. These pepperoni pizzas have 280 per slice. Not a huge amount, but when you have 2 of them, that's over 500 calories right there. The biggest culprit as far as calories is this little package of nut raisin mix, which has 350. Even the tortillas have 220 calories. So we're looking at a grand total of 1,730 calories right here, and that's not including the stuff that isn't marked. Now it's time to eat. Alright, and I have to say that I was tempted, since there are 2 slices of pepperoni pizza in here, to just have one with this review and save another one either for another video or just for myself. But we are doing a review, so we might as well check everything out. And I figure what this is going to give me a chance to do is I can heat one up in the ration heater and have one cold, so we can see it 2 different ways. And since we're going to do that, I'm going to give the Black Dog Surplus heater a good test, and we're not only going to put the pizza in there, but we're also going to heat up some coffee. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, as far as I can tell, this heater works exactly the same as a standard MRE flameless ration heater. The only difference I see on the instructions, it's a little bit simplified, and it doesn't say anything about using a rock or something. It just says to allow the MRE meal to heat for 15 minutes, not in any position. The illustration does seem to indicate it's at an angle, but it doesn't say to put it at an angle. The heating elements look very similar to a standard MRE heater. It does have the little do not eat guy on there, but a little different coloring. Another thing I noticed that's different about these pizzas from when Gundog did his just a couple weeks ago was those had the white sticker label on it. This actually is printed like a regular MRE item would be. It seems to be another indication that they're ready to go into full production. Now, you can heat 2 items in a flameless ration heater. My preference, though, is to put the first one in, as though you're doing just one, and get it activated, because you're supposed to get the water into these elements, and it's kind of tough to do when there's something on both sides of it. So we're going to add some water to the fill line. right between the lines, and I can hear it already starting. So it's a little bit on the dangerous side to be doing what I'm about to do, but I'll go ahead and heat the coffee up in the hot beverage bag since they're kind enough to give us one. It's actually not a very pleasant smell on that. It's almost a little fishy. But the important thing is that it's heating things up, and as you can see, that's exactly what it's doing. Alright, we have the coffee, creamer, and sugar in the hot beverage bag. I'm going to add about 6 ounces of water to that. And give that a good shake. It's probably more like coffee. And I am using cold water, so this is definitely going to be a good test of the heater. Take some of the air out of here. Make it a little bit easier to get it into the FRH. Ooh, that's hot. I can feel it. And now I'm going to attempt to get this into the thermos ration heater on the other side. Yeah, this is working really good. Okay, and I'm going to change what I had said. I'm not going to recommend, at least with these heaters, starting it up and then putting the items in, because that was way too hot. I had to turn the camera off actually so I could manage to make that work. But the funny thing is it does actually say to put it into the box, which of course MREs don't come with the little entree boxes anymore. Just come with cardboard sleeves, and this didn't even come with that. So instead we'll just go ahead and, for a little bit of insulation, we'll put it into the outer bag. And give that some time to heat up thoroughly. And while that heats up, we'll check out the rest of the components. This is the nut raisin mix, and this has peanuts, raisins, walnuts, sunflower seeds, almonds, and salt. Wow, look at that. That's a walnut. Whoa! Look at that raisin. That is a monster. Is this genetically modified or something? Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then our dessert of oatmeal cookies. These came in the other one that I had, and they're very good. Kind of like sort of miniaturized versions of the giant, genuine MRE oatmeal cookie. And the plain tortillas. I would have actually liked to have heated these up with the flameless ration heater, but since I decided to do the coffee. And these don't really need to be heated, but you know, a lot of times you have the problem with them splitting. But I think that's one advantage of this. This was packaged at the end of 2017, and these are actually still quite pliable. They're not, even though you can see where they're folded, they're not splitting like they usually do when you get them when they're a year or two old. So that's actually really good. They smell very fresh. Yeah, I mean, it's not the most exciting smell in the world, but it smells like a tortilla. And it seems like the Black Dog Surplus MREs tend to use a lot of the chunky peanut butter, which is kind of cool because you don't really see that in a lot of the regular MREs. It's usually just the creamy peanut butter. So we're going to give that a good knead. And since I don't really see anything else to use the tortillas with, it's not like you're going to make a sandwich out of your pizza because it's already got bread on it. I think we're just going to make some peanut butter sandwiches, or peanut butter tacos if you want to call it that. Maybe you can see the, yeah, you can kind of see little bits of peanuts in there, the chunky part. It's kind of cool. And it's probably the oldest component in this MRE, but it's still plenty fresh. And since we have a lot of flavorings and sundries and whatnot, I'm just going to put those in here for ease of access. Then we have the lemonade flavored drink mix, which takes 12 ounces of water. And I did have this in the last one, and I think this is really a great touch. Apparently it's something that MRE Star puts in their MREs, and I don't think I've ever seen a genuine MRE that came with lemonade. A lot of them come with the lemon lime drink mix, but it's actually a tasty alternative, just lemonade. Let's go ahead and put some of that into a smaller glass, like that. I will say that this lemonade does seem to mix up pretty well in water. And that just leaves us with a couple of slices of pizza and some coffee. Let's check out the cold pizza first. I almost feel like we need a little drum roll here for my first ever taste of MRE Pizza. The smell of that, look at that. MRE Pizza, it's real. Wow. It smells pretty good. I'll say before getting into this, before actually trying it, what I've always imagined the MRE Pizza to be like is basically like a quality of like a frozen pizza, and more specifically, Elio's pizza, for anyone who's familiar with that, or school pizza. Remember, school pizza used to come in these square pieces, and Elio's is a brand of frozen pizza. I always say that it's what I think of when I think of what MRE pizza would probably be like, and it's obviously not exactly the same thing because it's not shelf stable. It's a frozen pizza. This you can take right out of the pouch and eat it, which we're going to do with this one, or you can heat it up. The Elio's pizza, if you took that out of the freezer and thawed it out, I don't think you'd want to eat it. I think it would be a pretty goopy mess, mostly because of the crust. And I think the crust was a big part of the problem with developing MRE pizza. They had to find something that tasted pretty good, but could also stand up to having sauce on it. I mean, we've seen shelf-stable sandwiches before, including the Bridgeford barbecue chicken and barbecue beef ones. I'm surprised that didn't really have that. Seemed like it had that much of a problem. But you can kind of see already how dense this is. It almost looks like it's in different layers, and this is like, I don't know, it almost looks moist in there. But there it is. We got cheese on there. We got little cube chunks of pepperoni. It's pretty exciting. And let me see how the heater did the coffee. I will say this thing really heated up fast and was going full speed, and then it kind of petered out a little bit quicker than I expected. So I don't think it's going to be too effective on the coffee. It's definitely more than warm. Not quite hot, but it's not too bad. I think if I had just put it in before activating it, it would have been a lot more effective. That's okay. And now for the hot pizza. I thought I should have actually taken this out and flipped it around to get both sides heated up. I'm not sure which side I got, if that's the top or the bottom. But let's find out. I should have actually thrown this in some hot water just to make sure that it was well heated. Get the oxygen absorber in there. And there is a little bit of a difference right off the bat. Obviously, this is warm and this isn't, but this is actually a little bit more springy and bendy. This one's pretty firm, so heating it does give it a little bit extra dimension. And obviously, it's nice to be able to get a hot meal. It's not necessary with something that's ready to eat, but it's a nice touch, and it certainly adds something to the experience. At the same time, I'm a big fan of leftover pizza eaten cold, so either way. All right, and there it is, MRE Pizza. Finally, after all these years. Is it going to live up to the hype? You know what, I don't think it necessarily has to. I mean, nothing can live up to that kind of hype. As long as this is good, I'll be happy. And let's find out. So as it turns out, after plating everything, this is almost like a first strike ration, in that you really don't need the spoon. Everything's kind of stuff you can eat with your hands. Let's try the warmed up pizza. I think I'm hoping to get some more of these, and I don't want to say do some experiments on them, but try them a few different ways. I think the next one I'd probably actually put the pouch into some hot water to get it really heated up. It's definitely warm, and as I said, it's a little bit different. It does have a little bit more give to it, but overall, it's they're pretty much the same. Definitely getting some of the pepperoni smell coming off of there. It smells like a store-bought pizza sauce, and the crust smells kind of doughy. Let's try it out. It's very serviceable. I definitely would like to try it a little bit hotter. See if we can get this cheese to... from other videos I've seen, the cheese apparently doesn't actually melt, but at least have it hot. And as I was expecting, it's very similar in taste to the Elio's pizza. A little bit different consistency because that one, as I said, it's you actually cook that. You put it into a toaster oven or an oven, and you actually cook it. This is, of course, obviously ready to eat, but very similar, obviously in looks and kind of in style and in taste. It's nothing gourmet, but kind of along the lines of a pretty good frozen pizza. The crust is different. It is pretty doughy, kind of chewy. Not that it's a bad thing in terms of pizza, but just because being shelf-stable, it is different than something that would be frozen and actually needing to be cooked. Closest thing I can compare this to is a frozen pizza that you buy at a grocery store or something like that. But it's not exactly like that. Cheese seems to be kind of bland. The tomato sauce, or the pizza sauce, seems to have a little bit of a sweetness to it. Nothing too much to it. It's definitely not spicy or anything. And I haven't really actually gotten the pepperoni. They're all kind of over here. So let me get a bite that features some pepperoni. Yep, that does change the flavor. I guess the part that I was eating that didn't have the pepperoni is probably what the cheese pizza would taste like. Let me get one more bite to even this out. Yep, that's pretty good. I actually kind of feel bad for it because of the fact that so much hype around it. People have been waiting for so long. I don't think anything could live up to that, but I think they did a good job. Let's see what the crust looks like. It doesn't really have like a cooked appearance. Let me try the cold one. Obviously similar in taste. It's got a little bit of crunch in there. It's like a little onion or something. Yep. I'm glad I get to try these two different ways. It's definitely better heated. Nothing wrong with eating it like this, but there's less flavor. The flavor actually seems to come out better when it's heated. I mean, a little bit more pleasant experience biting into the crust. So that was the MRE Pizza. Serviceable, kind of along the lines of what you expect from like a frozen pizza. Cross between a frozen pizza and a shelf-stable sandwich kind of a thing, which makes sense. I suppose we'll follow that up with some of the nut raisin mix. So we get a little bit of everything in here. It looks like this walnut is huge, but it looks like it's the only walnut in here. It's this gigantic. Looks like we get everything there. It's funny, they have these little teeny tiny itsy bitsy raisins, and then these giant monster ones. And the packaging does say there's salt in here, so let's go ahead and see if we can actually taste that. Yeah, it's good, but it isn't very salty. Not that I expected it to be, but the fact that it said salt in the ingredients, I thought maybe it would be a little bit more salty than the genuine MREs tend to be. But it's still good. I think that maybe I'm almost thinking maybe the sunflower seeds are salted, and that kind of gives salt to the overall picture. But the raisins, they actually do add a lot to it by giving it that sweetness. They almost taste a little bit salty. I'm not sure why, but that really kind of gives you flavor. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of plain nuts. But overall, a really good walking around snack. I'm going to try the deep rich coffee, which it's only lukewarm at best at this point, but it does seem to taste fine. I guess I've learned a lesson with those flameless ration heaters. It's not exactly the same as a standard MRE flameless ration heater. Let's try this peanut butter sandwich here. Actually, I guess this gives us a chance to use the spoon. Spread it around a little bit. And there's a lot of peanut butter on here. I normally probably would have put about half this on this one and half on the other one. But obviously I wanted to make a little display there. And that's good. Gives you a really hearty, kind of stick to your ribs sort of a snack to go along with your pizza. It's definitely a good amount of food between the two slices of pizza and the tortillas with the peanut butter on them, giving you a little peanut butter burrito. And we have the oatmeal cookies. We have 4 of these. It gives you a nice, satisfying crunch. You definitely taste the oatmeal. You can feel the oatmeal too, the texture of it. And it's got some sweetness. Kind of tastes a little bit like molasses. Just like the MRE cookies, it's sweet but not overly sweet. Crunchy but not overly hard. And as I noticed on the last Black Dog Surplus ration, a little bit of peanut butter on here is delicious. Very reminiscent of Girl Scout peanut butter sandwich cookies. And that's very good. Try a little lemonade before we do one last thing I almost forgot about. I do like that. I do like that touch of having lemonade. I suppose if it's always lemonade, you could get sick of it. But as of right now, it's kind of a novelty, something different from the MRE beverages. And I like lemonade in general, so it's a nice touch. So we pretty much tried everything. What I kind of forgot to do was to try some of these spices. I don't think salt and pepper is really needed on the pizza. Obviously, if you're a big fan of salt or pepper, you could try it with that. And I'm actually, for this review, I'm going to skip the hot sauce. We know what hot sauce does. It's very effective for changing the flavor. I don't think the pizza really needs it. Obviously, if that's something you want, go for it. But I did want to try the Parmesan and the Italian pizza packet spice. The pizza's it's good. I guess the word I used is serviceable, and that's true. But probably wouldn't hurt having a little something extra on it. So we'll try a little bit of the Italian spices on one side. And I can smell it from here. You get the oregano, basil, marjoram, garlic, thyme, crushed red pepper. Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice touch. And I like putting, when I make pizzas myself, after they come out of the oven, I like putting a little bit of Parmesan sprinkled on top of it. So I imagine this is going to be a nice little extra dimension for this. Yeah, the Italian spices definitely go with it. It certainly makes sense on it. And the Parmesan, it gives it that extra cheese flavor. Because even though this has cheese on it, you don't really get a lot of flavor coming through on that cheese. So it's definitely a nice touch. I'm glad they decided to include this. I kind of tried them separately, so let's also give them a taste together. Yeah, that's a nice touch. I think if you find that the sauce is a little bit too bland for you, the spices really they really Italianize it quite a bit. They add a nice little kick of all those little elements. For me personally, I think it's fine with just a little bit of the Parmesan on there. It's actually fine by itself too. But it's nice to have options. And in the last review of a Black Dog Surplus ration, I skipped the Smarties. So in lieu of gum, let's go ahead and we'll try these. I know that different countries have different kinds of candies. This is a really standard, like kids kind of candy, like a little penny candy in the U.S. I think some people have a candy called Smarties that's sort of like M&Ms. It's like a chocolatey kind of thing. But these are just these little sweet discs, or almost like wafers. And they come in different colors, but it's all they all taste the same. Nice little sweet way to finish off the meal. Doesn't exactly clear your palate, but it does give you a nice little sweet taste to, I don't want to say get rid of the flavors in your mouth, but to kind of change things up a bit. So that was a review of a Black Dog Surplus Adventure Ration-Pack. This one was menu A1, pepperoni pizza. A huge thank you to Black Dog Bob for sending this along to me, and thank you for watching. We have a little bit of bonus footage here. We're going to have a little bit of a guest review. My daughter should be getting home from school any minute, and I wanted her to give this a try. Obviously, she's never had this before, and I wanted to get a kid's opinion on this pizza, how it tastes, see if she thinks it tastes like school pizza or anything like that. And she might try out a couple of the other things too. All right, Minnie, welcome home from school.
Thanks, Dad.
How would you like to try something a little different, maybe something a little special?
Yes, definitely.
Pizza?
Pizza?
It's MRE Pizza.
Cool.
Something that we've been waiting for a long time. What I'm going to do is going to have you try this one first. This one was heated, but they're both cold now anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Try this one first, and then this one has some little bit of extra flavorings and spices and stuff.
All right.
So give that a try, and let me know what you think.
They're squares, the pepperoni's square, and the pizza. Well, it definitely tastes like pizza. It has a hint of pasta in it.
Yeah,
Sort of like
okay.
pasta.
That's actually, I'm glad to get a different opinion because I was kind of trying to describe the sauce. You think it's a sauce, right? It's kind of like spaghetti sauce. Yeah, I would agree. That's a good analogy for it.
Pepperoni is fine too. It's just like normal pepperoni.
Does it remind you of anything?
I'll try it again.
No, the whole thing.
Well, the whole thing, it reminds me of the pizza we have at school because.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping you'd say.
Because I don't know, it just tastes like it.
It's just very similar. Probably.
Yeah, also like the texture. I can it's just the texture of it is like the cheese layer is sort of coldish, which is what I like. I like cold pizza. It's like my favorite thing. So yeah.
Cool. All right. No, this one here, this one has a little bit of pizza packet Italian spice and some Parmesan cheese on it. So you can see, compare the, ooh, careful. You can compare the two.
Okay. Now it tastes even more pasta-y because the Parmesan cheese, which is what we usually put on my pasta, I can't really taste the sauce as well.
It's kind of covered up almost.
But yeah, it's definitely good and all.
All right. Do you want to try it with hot sauce or skip that?
I'll skip it.
Okay, that's what I did too. All right, well, thanks a lot. So overall, you thought it was, what'd you think?
I thought it was a big thumbs up.
Right.
Definitely. We've been waiting for this for a while, and it was definitely great. And it's kind of like 2 meals in one, sort of, which is why it's great, because it's this little mini compact sandwich that kind of tastes like a pasta and pizza at the same time. and you can also add things to it, which is pretty cool. Like, that's just cool. So, double thumbs up. How about that?
There you go. All right, well, thank you. And now, was one other thing I'd like you to try on this. It's the oatmeal cookie. Why don't you give that a taste and tell me what you think of that?
All right.
There's a reason.
I don't know what I'm supposed to think of it.
Nothing. It's not impressing you too much.
I don't know. It's like a normal cookie. Of course, I love cookies, so it's good. But I don't know. It's sort of like a.
Yeah, so not a lot to say, huh? I mean, the way I would describe it, it's good. It has some sweetness, but it's not overly sweet.
Yeah.
It's not too hard. It's not like overly crunchy or anything like that. But it's just a perfectly fine cookie, basically. Now, I want you to try it a little bit different. I want you to try it with some peanut butter on it.
Okay, peanut butter.
See what you think of that, and tell me if it reminds you of anything.
What is that? What?
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Does it improve the cookie, you think?
Yeah, it definitely does. That's weird.
Remind you of anything?
Graham crackers. That's what it tastes like.
You know, it actually does kind of, like, because when you put peanut butter on graham crackers, it does kind of taste like that, even though graham crackers and oatmeal cookies are pretty different. There's something else that I was thinking. I think I'm probably going to have to tell you, and let's see if you agree. I was thinking Girl Scout cookies, the peanut butter sandwich.
I haven't had it in so long.
Yeah, you didn't eat any of this. Yeah, that's true.
But you're right. If it was a little less like sugary, it would definitely be that. But you're right. Yeah. I agree.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing a different opinion. We had a little bit of a special guest star, and I think that made the review even better.
Thanks for watching.